The views and opinions expressed by the guests and contributors on Conklin and Company are not necessarily those of 13 ABC. Now, Conklin and Company continues with Take 3, commentary and analysis from our panel of political contributors.
Welcome back, everyone. Joe McNamara makes it officially jumping into the race for Toledo mayor in 2013. And the mayor battling back, so it already becomes a war of words of sorts, setting up what should be a very, very interesting primary election. We still don't know for sure if Anita Lopez is going to get in. We believe she will, or Teresa Gabriel. We believe she will as well. Alan Cox is already in. So let's, and Opal Covey as well. Let's welcome in somebody who's seen a lot of elections in Toledo in years past. How many would you count, Stan? Stanford Odesky of Stan Odesky and Associates.
I was trying to remember one of the early ones, and I think it was the direct mayoral race with John Potter going back in, what, the 50s? Wow. That was kind of the first one, then we just kept moving forward.
Officially, welcome to Conklin and Company.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me on. We have seen you around for every election. You've got all your data at your fingertips, and you're always ready, no matter when we see each other. See, I've got this information right here, and this is what the people say, and this is what we anticipate. So here we are. Joe McNamara gets in this week, and immediately starts talking about jobs and economic development and the issues that are very pertinent to Northwest Ohio, Toledo specifically, of course, in this case. And the mayor fights back and says, you know, it's going to be a battle.
They're both hitting on the numbers. Let me just grab some data, as I usually do.
Okay, please do.
And we're talking about what are the major problems facing residents of the area. And both of the all of the announced candidates, I assume, will fall in place. And I suspect that Anita Lopez will come in. Teresa M. Gabriel.
And, I'm sorry, Teresa M. Gabriel.
May not, an African-American Republican. She's run for office a couple times.
Longtime city employee.
Longtime city employee, one of the key people under Cardi Finkbeiner. But we'll have to see what evolves.
Yeah.
But what we're running into on people's minds are the unemployment issues, which converts into economic development, if you will, crime, and recent statistics show that that's down a little bit.
Yeah.
So there are some
numbers
opportunities
coming out
there.
this past week.
Right, and that can be. I mean, it's interesting. As president of City Council, Joe McNamara, and as mayor, Mike Bell, they're sitting in a couple key places to make things happen. And Anita Lopez, with the situation of handling tax rates, all of them are sitting in pretty key positions to help bring some businesses to Toledo, take credit for it. I would think if the mayor can get some digging taking place on the east side and at the Jeep plant.
That's big.
All of them can make things happen. They've been working on these things for a long time, and they're right on the brink of potential success to solve some of these, take credit for them, and jump a little bit ahead in this mayoral
What about
primary.
Southwick? If the mayor can get something going down there, could have
exact same
a black
things.
mark with the failed deal.
You've got a number of places sitting out there that are sitting on with an opportunity. And it'll be interesting to see who can carry the flag forward and make things happen, take credit, and start turning things around here in Toledo.
Okay, but and we also have the dynamic of support. Who will support whom in this race for mayor? Anita Lopez, of course, is the Democrat, and it appears she will get the lion's share of union support, correct?
Well, you've got that situation. I mean, if we follow the historic tradition has been, at least in recent years, that the Democratic officials will wait till the primary's over to lend their support. That's primarily Lopez and McNamara. Bell is clearly the independent, came out that way last year, and has served his time as an independent.
Well, some would say he leans Republican there, right? I mean, siding with John Kasich.
Well, on some issues that's the case, but if the primary against Keith Wolkowski had not been decided as a Democrat earlier, I don't know. I think Bell might have gone for the Democratic nod. Obviously, he didn't get it. In this town, let's be realistic, with well under, 15% in the city, 10 or 12%
for the primary.
Registered R's, registered Republicans. I mean, years ago, a lot of politicians have gone from Republican to Democrat once they've looked at the numbers.
Right.
I mean, let's be realistic.
And we know one
in
pretty
this
well.
town. Well,
You sat in these chairs.
Well, you can go back even further than
Really?
that. I mean, I go back to the days of Bob Savage, who was vice mayor at one point in time. So you've got a lot of candidates who have looked at the numbers and said, my goodness.
Yeah, what am I doing here? Let's,
What am I doing
yeah.
here? I mean, Carty has been the same way, Finkbeiner. And, I mean, you just have to
speaking
be
of which,
realistic
there was a
in this
little
community.
buzz this past week. Oh, maybe Carty might try it again. Not going to happen.
Well, that's up to Carty. And you never know Carty until it's over. But
What's your best guess?
my best guess is no.
Mm-hmm.
I think along with everything else, he's a realistic. And I would think that while he might give it serious consideration, if somebody else drops the shovel in some of these projects we talked about, I think that kind of closes off his opportunity. And Bell has been a pretty good campaigner. He only won, 53 to 47 last time. There were 70,000 votes in that election. So we've got to remember that the mayor's race doesn't draw the crowd here that obviously presidential does, and it hasn't for years.
How important is the money, is the fundraising going to be for the mayor, Mr. McNamara, Anita Lopez? How important will that be? Because Keith Wilkowski
right.
outspent Mike Bell.
But if, yes, he did, with a lot of his own money. But it's always important. The media impact is still fairly large. The social media is getting larger as people are trying that. But most of our candidates have to appeal to an older crowd that aren't into the social media
Right.
quite as much because that's the makeup of the
Double-edged
city.
sword there, really.
Double-edged sword.
Yeah. All right, we've talked politics. Now I want to talk about something near and dear to your heart. Also Dick Epstein, who was here earlier.
Right.
It is the centennial celebration of one of the great high schools in the state of Ohio. It is Scott High School. Talk about that.
I happen to be general chair of Scott's Centennial Celebration. 25 years ago, we had 1,250 people at Seagate Center, and this year, on October 19th, I'm hoping we have more than that at Seagate to celebrate 100 years of Scott High School. What I would like is for alums and friends to start early so we know what is going to take place. You're having the phone number up, call the school, ask for further information. But we've had a committee working on this for a couple of years, and I think we have a very interesting program developed. Dick Epstein, in fact, will be talking about 100 years of Scott at the event. And
it's pure coincidence that you're both here on this day. We did not have the phone number up, but we have the date, and we had everything else. Just contact Scott High School.
Contact Scott High School at
you can find
671-4000.
Okay, easy
and request information, and let's show the crowd. We have people all over the country already geared coming back. We're going to have on Friday night opportunities for different decade groups to meet and greet. My class of 55 will be there strong, and let's get the other classes there.
Epstein's 65, you are 55. He made it clear that,
and my
you
brothers,
came before him.
And my brother's in between at 59. So we want to have a good showing, and
we'll talk about
be a
that
great
more
opportunity
as we march toward October.
You bet.
Stanford Odesky, a pleasure.
Thank you. Appreciate
as
the
always.
opportunity.
Make it a good Sunday, and to everyone out there, we'll see you all this week on 13 ABC Action News. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next week.